I think the net rankings are not as big of a deal as we all think it is when it comes to committees. But I said from day one, we're sitting at 16-5. I'm not saying we're the best team in the country, but with the resume that we have right now, and we could lose and it could change. Right now, today, we should not be ranked 52nd in any ranking. I'm not saying a month from now, but it makes no sense to me.
That was Richard Pitino last week. Gopher head man now kind enough to join us today here on BTN Live. Richard, let's start with a general conversation about the net and how much of any ranking system is just that human desire to put a numerical qualification on our ability to say Team A is better than Team B, even if you haven't watched Team A and or Team B.
Well, I think what's hard about the net, and the more and more I learn from it, because I was talking about it the other day, I think, at a press conference, and I'm just trying to figure out what it is. I'm not trying to complain, but it's so new. And I think the thing that people have to remember is, for the most part, it's something that's supposed to be evaluated at the end of the year. It's kind of a predictive type thing, much like Ken Palm. So it's been a little bit frustrating for me, but I get it, where we've had some really, really good wins, but yet we're like low 50s, and my whole point was that does not make sense. Now, can that even out over the course of a season? We will see. But I do think it's in a lot of coaches' minds. I think that I was watching the Louisville-Virginia Tech game last night, and Buzz Williams didn't want to foul because he didn't want to lose by 10 or more. So I think coaches are starting to try to figure out, okay, not only do we need to win games, but how are we winning these games? By how many points are we trying to win these games? Who knows, maybe even you're down 13 points and the game's over, but you want to cut that thing to 9. It's probably a little bit overrated in our heads, but it'll be interesting to see the way the whole thing plays out at the end of the season.
Is that right now the biggest issue, if you boil it down to one specific data point that the net is using, is that 10-point wins? It seems an arbitrary number why 10 is so much more important than 9. And also, Richard, maybe that unintended consequence that a coach is keeping his starters in much longer than he would like.
I did it versus, I think it was Illinois and Rutgers. I mean, I was playing my guys all the way to the end, and I don't like doing that. You know, you want to give your guys other opportunities if you feel like you have the game won. But there is definitely that. There's the theory that when you play these guarantee games, that you need to blow them out because it'll improve your efficiency and do those things. And there's a lot of coaches that they don't want to run the score up, and they don't want to do that way. So it'll be interesting. I mean, the net is just one factor of a couple of different things. I think the problem right now is bracketologies seem to be looking at only the net, and then it's getting everybody else a little bit excited about it. There's still many other factors: quad 1 wins, RPI, Sagarin, KPI, and all those things. And I know the common fan would say just win games and that's all that should matter, but it does seem like you need to win a certain way to go along with everything else.
Obviously, you have a ton of opportunities with a 20-game schedule, with as strong as the Big Ten is from top to bottom, but that also means more challenges. I know we're only about halfway through the first year of it, but your take on the 20 games so far and the grind that it's been on you and the team?
Well, I'm kind of regretting playing a tough non-conference schedule with how many games, tough games that we have. You know, at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to the NCAA tournament, and you need quality win opportunities. You know, you used to root against teams that you played. But now it's every team on our schedule moving forward, I want them to win. Any team that we've beaten, I want them to win because it helps the strength of your schedule and the strength of your wins. It's beneficial for everybody if the Big Ten has a great non-conference because it improves your strength of schedule moving forward. We've got so many good opportunities on our schedule over the next 9 games. I try not to look at them, the schedule, because I'm trying to sleep at night, but there's a lot of terrific opportunities right in front of us.
Richard, Amir Coffey has shown flashes throughout his entire career, but this year it has been much more consistent. Obviously, a lot of that goes back to him being healthy. But did you see something, whether it was mentally or confidence-wise this year? It seems like he's so much more willing to take games over when you guys need him to.
Well, you know, you can't skip steps in your career. I mean, he had a really good freshman year. I always thought he would continue to jump sophomore, then to junior year, have a breakout year. Unfortunately, he got hurt, missed a lot of the Big Ten season last year, but he's a terrific player. He's versatile. He's 6'8". He's a guard. He's playing the point guard spot for us. But not only that, I mean, he's been able to take over games offensively when we need him to. Sometimes we get a little bit bogged down in the half court. We need somebody to go make a play. It's been Amir a lot of the time. So, you know, he's a mature kid. Loves the game. He's quiet, but he's a fierce competitor. And we need him to be that guy in those crucial moments, and he's been that way so far.
Had a great conversation late last week with Jordan Murphy, who has just put up silly numbers. I mean, we almost take for granted the fact that he goes for 15 and 12 basically the second that he walks on the floor, and he's not a pound his own chest kind of guy, but he has been honored for his accomplishments and the fact that he's rewriting the record books. I know you never want to say goodbye to him. When you do, what legacy will he leave behind in Minneapolis?
Well, I tell you what, we're running out of basketballs because we seem to give him a basketball every couple of games, breaking some record. It's remarkable what he has done at his size. I mean, he's 6'5", 6'6". He's not this insane athlete by any means. It's been all sheer will, grit, determination. He's helped us win a lot of games. He's broken a lot of records to be second all-time in the Big Ten in a league that's known for front court players and size and physicality. It just shows you, you know, about his heart. And to go along with anything else, he is a terrific kid. He cares about being a good person. He's a great teammate. He's not a beat your chest type of guy. So we've been lucky to have him, and we're going to hate to see him go.
All right, Richard, let's finish on a light note. In the game against Purdue, the video has gone viral. Your son looks at you not as the head coach of the Gophers, but as dad. And so he tells you when business needs to be taken care of. You relay the message. Have you been surprised, amused, entertained by the reaction to that video?
Well, I wish that we had won the game so that I can enjoy it a little bit more. But there's always a risk, you know, when you do a father-son trip like we did, and I wanted to get him on a trip with us because I wasn't able to do that. And now that he's 4 years old, he's starting to like basketball, ask you who's winning, who's losing. But I tried to lay the ground rules out. I said, you cannot run on the court, which he did not do. I tried to get him, you know, acclimated with my managers in case something like that happens. But, you know, he went to daddy in a time of need. I'm just happy I didn't get caught on camera saying something bad. You know, I think I handled it the right way. But it was awesome. I mean, it's cool to see that moment. I hate the fact that we lost the game. I thought we played pretty well at spurts. But at the end of the day, if you can get some family time, I'm obviously Coach's son, and I've been in a lot of different environments on the road. So it was a cool moment to capture for sure. He'll laugh about it one day.
Yeah, one day I was just about to say, at the very least, now you have the perfect video for the wedding day some 20 years from now. Richard, as always, truly appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.